Hi everyone, my name is Paula Phillips, also known as Journal Artista, and today I'm going to share with you a really quick stencil technique that I am absolutely infatuated with currently. So what I have here, this is my composition art journal that I altered the cover on, and in those composition art journals I always glue two pages together. I do that with a glue stick with glue on both sides of the page, and prior to press and record here, I have pre-gessoed the paper. That's very important for this technique, that you have gessoed the paper. The stencil I'm going to be using today is the Balzer Designs pomegranate, 12 by 12 pomegranate stencil. This is from Crafters Workshop. Absolutely love it. I actually love this design so much I have it in 6 by 6 as well. So we'll be using that here shortly. I'm also going to be using two different colors of Liquitex Basics, which I should probably maybe give a little bit of a shake. They may not look like they go together, but one is bright aqua green, the other is medium magenta. And you can get those at any Michael's, probably pretty cheap, or an art and craft store. Art or craft store, shall I say. And so, you know, you guys have seen me do a lot of layers. I'm just going to use the side of my non-stick Ranger craft sheet here as a palette. And one of the things I always preach is dry in between your colors. But today I'm going to get a little wild and put two colors down without drying in between, just to get a little different look. Absolutely, you can use this technique with just one color of paint or multiple colors of paint. So I'm going to put a little bit. Basics is a student grade acrylic. I'm going to take a little brush here. It's been sitting in water. I'm going to wipe it off. And I think I'm going to start with the green. And I'm just going to paint it all over the page, willy-nilly with it, like I say. You can do this technique as a base layer or in a subsequent layer, in an intermediate layer or top layer, whatever you want. It's not specifically a background technique. And I put a little bit of green over here. And if you feel that your paint's not spreading as much as you'd like it to, just dip your brush into water. You know, when I do that, I don't pick up a lot of water, just to saturate it a little bit. The gesso helps the paint move around a little bit better as well. And because I'm using two colors, I'm not too worried about filling the entire page, making sure that every little piece of white is covered up. So I'm just going to go around. And basically I'm just going to use all the paint that I have here on my makeshift palette. Alright, so I'm going to clean off my brush a little bit. Wipe off the excess. Here might be a little bit of green left over, but I'm going to pick up the pink and blend it in. So it's becoming a little bit of a purple color mixing with the green, which is very cool. So I'm definitely going to focus on the areas where it's really purple. Can you guys see? Hope you guys can see that well. It's an awesome color. I should do some color mixing more often, huh? Alright, so I'm focusing on where there's some white spots, pulling it inwards, making sure it's heavier in some places so you can really see the pink. But this purple is an awesome color. You don't have to use a student grade acrylic for this technique. You can use any type of acrylic paint that you prefer, craft paint, anything like that. Alright, kind of like that. You can have loads of fun just figuring out, mixing colors and deciding how much you want of a certain color on there. But I really like some of that purple. I hope that with my lighting you can see it well enough. So I just take a used baby wipe and wipe off my craft sheet. And I never have to worry about, the worst thing I have to worry about is dipping my journal into it, which happens somewhat frequently, I must say. So the fun thing about 12 by 12 stencils is that you can cover a big background really quickly. Sometimes a 6 by 6, which I must say I have more 6 by 6 than 12 by 12s, you know, you kind of have to move your stencil around. The fun thing about a big 12 by 12 stencil is I can just drop it down and go to town. So this time, I know I did a technique prior to this, easy reverse stencil. You'll be able to see a link in below there, which is a different look to the same type of reverse stenciling technique. It's more of a grungy look than this one. So check out that video. This time we are using a brand new baby wipe. Yeah, it's got some paint on it already. But anyway, the juicier the baby wipe, the little bit different of a result. So it just can't be dry. You want one that's pretty wet. So all I'm going to do is take the baby wipe and start wiping. Now some stencils, like, because this one's kind of circular, I'm going to have to go into a circular motion so that I don't pick up the stencil. See, the stencil kind of pops up like that. So like, oh, you saw a sneak peek. So I might have to go around and around. If you're using a stencil, this is another one of Julie's designs, you know, you'd be wanting to go up and down or the direction of the grain. So just depending on the stencil you're using, figure out what's best for that. Notice that I didn't wait at all to start rubbing this off, whereas in a prior technique I did wait. So if your baby wipe gets dirty, just flip it around to a clean area. If you want to practice this first, I suggest you use a stencil, maybe not so big and maybe not with such small, intricate designs. If you're one of the ones that don't like to jump right in and you want to practice the technique before moseying onto your art journal. So just choose a stencil that's maybe a little bit open than some of these smaller holes, and you should be good. Now this does kill your baby wipe. Somewhere out there a bunch of people are crying. So you just got to make sure that you continue to fold over and get a different side. So bear with me as this takes a little while. If you hear some yelling, that's my man yelling at the puppies. They are getting quite big. Alright. Whenever they're downstairs, they like to, and I'm not there, they like to sneak up on the coffee table and try to grab whatever's there. You know, your pop bottle, your coffee, a random piece of paper, anything. Fair game to them. So we're trying to train with that. But they know Daddy isn't as strict as I am. I don't have kids, so they're definitely my babies. So they like to take advantage of them when I'm upstairs. Okay. So I'm very carefully going to take off and look at that. How easy was that? So I'm just going to lay it down over here, overlap it. I'm going to get a brand new baby wipe. So I could have let that dry a little bit, especially, I mean, if you see that how much paint came off the stencil, especially where I put some of that pink paint, there was definitely some real thick areas on there. You just want to make sure that it doesn't completely dry. Of course, the longer you wait to rub the paint off, the more of a grungy look you're going to get. And this works with absolutely any stencil design. As I said, you can do a full layer like this. You can just choose a certain place, or not from, it doesn't have to be the first layer. So of course the white you see is the gesso from the beginning. So I'll bring it up a little bit closer. How simple and fun. You cannot get any simpler of a technique than this. And I'm seriously addicted to it. I'm going to turn the page and stick this little scrap of paper. I did this page on my Ustream show shortly, recently, And if you see up there in the middle, it's the same technique, different stencil, but I used the Derwent art bars. And there's the pomegranate in 6x6. I also used a Wendy Vecchi stamp over there, and I like how that stamp turned out. Anyways, I did this a couple Saturdays ago, I believe. And also, I did the same technique on this. And this is an artist seller stencil, I believe. But same technique. I did some stamping on top of it. 2 different colors. What a great background page. And now I can work it in from here. Uh-oh, bad news. There we go. Alright, so give it a try. I'd love to see what you create. Join me over on Ustreams on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Check out my blog, journalartistaart.com, for more info. Much love, everyone.